We are live.
I went to school.
You guys,
We
we're
are
gonna,
live.
we're gonna go ahead and fire that.
We're live.
All right. I'd like to call to the order the Hamilton County Board of Zoning Appeals, Wednesday, February 25th, 2026 at 7 o'clock. Roll call, Mike Pugel to my left, Carlton Mills, alternate to my left, Ron Hall to my right, and myself, Adam Zeller. And that will declare a quorum. Communication reports.
None.
Okay. Approval of minutes for December 17th, 2025.
I make a motion to approve the minutes for December 17th, actually December 12th,
Actually, it's December 10th.
December 10th,
Yeah.
2025.
Typo.
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah, December 10th, 2025 as written.
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Old business, doesn't look like there's anything. New business, docket number BZA-RV-0001-02-2026. A variance concerning Article 3, 4 of the Hamilton County Unified Development Ordinance number 7-25-2022-A as amended 07-10-2023 to allow construction of an accessory dwelling in the A2S zone district. Address for the project is 16519 State Road 38, East Noblesville, Indiana 46060. Parcel numbers 12-12-08-00-00-018 .000. Property is zoned A-2 S. Size of property is 5 acres. Legal description, Section 8, Township 18, Range 6. Owner is Neil Newberger. Whoever would like to represent the variance and explain it, would you please come forward and state your name and address?
My name is Neil Newberger. I'm the owner of the property, that 16519 State Road 38 East, Noblesville, Indiana. So I was back here in September of 2025 when I initially petitioned to rezone this property. So just a couple key points from that meeting. I purchased this property in July of 2024. It was initially zoned C3 commercial. The property ended up going for about 50% over asking. There was 10 serious buyers. Of those 10, I was the only person there who wanted to actually rezone it to ag and build a house on it. All the other people wanted to do commercial activities out there. In my offer letter to the previous owner, I learned that they had been there for about 70 years. They knew the community, they knew the neighbors, they were enthusiastic that somebody with, I guess, a top offer wanted to live out there with their family. During the first rezone, I guess as I started this rezone process, I discussed that my goal was to have my dad live in the existing house and then build my house out there and move my family out there and live there. I was not given any opposition to this in the first time I brought it up. Currently on the property, there's a 1,000 square foot house. That is where my dad lives. He's retired. He lives alone. He moved out there from Wyoming. That's where I'm from initially. He's been out there for about a year. Being able to build my house out there would allow him to live independently later into his life. He could be closer to his grandkids. That's one of the reasons he moved out. I've got a daughter that will turn 1 in March and another daughter that's going to turn 3 in July, so he can see them more and they can grow up near him. My parents are divorced. My mom is still in Wyoming and she is going to move out to Indiana in May of 27 when she retires. If my dad was ever unable to live in this property, whether health or an accident or whatever reason, she expressed interest in living in the 1,000 square foot house. So what that means is this property would never be used as a rental, as a business, as anything of that sort. I would be willing to sign some sort of agreement saying that this 1,000 square foot house would only be for an immediate family member if I was allowed to build my residence on the property. I've worked in Noblesville for the last 8 years. The company I work for we just built an office warehouse on 146 in Oleo at the beginning of Innovation Mile. I live in Fishers right now. I'd like to move close to where I work, be a part of the community, and support it that way. And then kind of as I discussed at the beginning of this process, I always brought up that I wanted to apply for a variance and build a house, and there was support given from the plan commission, the people I talked to. At the last meeting, there was a gentleman stood up and he had questions about kind of what I wanted to do. It's gonna be probably a 3,000 to 4,000 square foot house, 2 stories. Basement would pen the groundwater situation. I know the water table can be high out there. One point that I'd like to bring up is I'm not gonna remove any of the mature trees. I'm not gonna touch any of the trees that are on the perimeter of any of the neighbors, and none of the structures there'd be no eyesore, there'd be nothing that would affect the quality of life of any of the neighbors or anybody out there. So that's kind of why I'm here today for this variance.
And I assume you'll have a new septic system for the
New
new
septic,
home.
yeah, exactly.
What's your proposed drive to your new house? Are you planning on using the existing drive and then bringing a new drive to the new proposed residence? or-
That's not concrete yet, but in my mind, I would take the existing driveway and extend it over. I think that's probably the most affordable.
And if he were to add a drive, he'd have to get permission from the NDOT
Yes, right,
to do that.
right. Any other questions?
I don't.
Okay.
None for me.
Okay. Well, we'll now open the floor at 7:07 for any public comment that would like to be made on for or against the petition. And sir, if you state your name and address, please.
I'm Kenny Clark, Kenny, my wife Carol. We're at 16359 State Road 38 East. We have 25 acres just behind the Newburgers, and we're all for it. Essentially, like SC Express, the property would not be a rental. That's our only concern, so there's no problems from us.
Okay. Thank you, Kenny. Could I have a motion to approve?
Close your public hearing.
Oh. We'll close the public portion, and would I have
Yeah.
a motion?
Before we do that, I would like to propose to put a condition on the property, as he mentioned, that we would require a signed recorded commitment from the property owner that the accessory dwelling may only be used for a family member.
And, Mr. Attorney, would this be a covenant running with the land?
Yeah, you would want it to run with the land, yes.
Okay, so then add as a covenant running with the land.
Aaron, what about the residence that's there today? The house along near the road? Should there be a condition on both dwellings?
Yeah, I think you would want to say that neither
Yeah.
would be rented,
Yeah.
since there's going to be two of them.
Both
on the
houses
parcel.
have to be
So we
used
would-
for family
We
members.
would make the same condition for both houses?
Yes.
Yes. So do I need to restate my,
Well, you haven't made, I didn't actually make a motion.
Yeah, let's make a
Okay.
motion,
Okay,
and then
okay.
we'll discuss.
okay. So I'd like to make a motion to approve BZA RV 0001-02-2026, along with the condition that both houses have a signed recorded commitment from the property owner that both house, I'm sorry, I should have said differently, requiring a signed recorded commitment from the property owner that both the accessory dwelling and the main house of the property may only be used for family members as a covenant running with the land.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion made and seconded. Discussion. I personally think it's a practical request. It makes sense. Sounds like your neighbors support what you're looking to do. And so I don't see an issue with it personally. Any other comments?
No, I agree. We've had this sort of variance before, and with the condition that's placed, and with sufficient amount of land out in the country, it's very nice that this land had been zoned C3, and now it's converted back to being a residential or agricultural area.
I commend the petitioner because he's had to jump through many hoops to get to this spot, and I admire his commitment to do that. I have to think we're a little weak on the strict application of the zoning ordinance here because it could be used as a single-family property. But the comprehensive plan says that we want to encourage aging in place, and the petitioner's plans for this property are consistent with that. And so I don't have any issues with that. I think we can check off all the boxes, and I'll also support the covenant running with the land, so that if the petitioner does sell this property down the road, subsequent owners would also have the same restrictions.
Yep. Okay. Well, motion has been made and seconded for BZA-RV-0001-02-2026. So I'll call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Aye, by the way. Congratulations, you're approved. We wish you the best of luck.
Now you can get down to business of actually doing something out there.
Fun part starts.
What's your timeline?
We'd like to sell our current house maybe in August, and then probably rent the house for a year while we build, so ideally starting this year.
Great, good luck with it.
Yeah.
Director's report.
Just very quickly, you've all met Carlton Mills. He is an alternate for Jim Galloway. You're all aware that Jim has retired. When Carlton agreed to be the alternate, we didn't realize Jim was gonna be retiring, so meet Carlton.
Welcome, Carlton. Glad to have you.
We're still looking for a full-time person, unless Carlton says, yay, I wanna do it full-time. But he committed to being an alternate. So we're
I
looking,
also committed to filling in
yep.
until at such time, either I go, yeah, I'll do it full-time, or you find someone else.
So we hope you join us permanently.
Thank you.
And then, of course, there's been lots of bills going through the state legislature that affects zoning and planning, and our commissioner, Hairbrandt here, the Indiana Association of County Commissioners, commissioner friend of mine from Tipton, have been having a lot of input in some of those bills, because some of those bills would be tying the hands of Plan Commission and BZA very tightly, and that's not good. They'd be basically taking away our sovereignty and how we can rule in our area. So the last iteration I seen, the bill was down to 30 pages, but it started out at like 64 pages or something like that. So they've gotten a lot of it trimmed down. I don't know if it got passed today or not,
I haven't heard that it
but
passed.
I think
We're
supposed
down
to
to
be-
just a couple of days yet here.
Yeah, it was a final reading on it today or yet this week. It's House Bill 1001, but they've made it better. It's going to increase our reporting requirements as a planning department, but it's going to be one of those things that it's going to develop over time. We're going to see how much it's going to affect us. Still not a fan of it, but it is what it is. We've got it, or we're going to have
The
it.
the accessory building issue was a significant part of that, right?
Not only that, but they were gonna make it much harder to say no to residential subdivision.
Yes.
They were gonna require that, especially higher density ones, and take away our ability to govern what we want in our own territory. And it's been largely, there's opt-outs and some other things into it, but that doesn't mean, my guess is we're gonna see versions of this the next few years. People try to push this through.
Was it my understanding also that it was gonna limit our ability to stop like that battery facility that wanted to be put in and
Well-
things like that?
I don't know that that was part of this bill, but the governor has been talking about that, and some of the legislators have, about taking away discretion for solar fields, wind farms, and different types of energy.
Okay.
I don't think that's gonna make anything this year.
Now, I haven't heard anything
But they've been
about-
pushing it for 3 or 4 years now.
It got beaten back last year, and so it may come back again next year, but I don't think they've given up on that either.
And as far as the accessory dwellings, Commissioner Harebrant told me yesterday evening, I think it was, we were talking, he said that that got taken out because the way the bill was originally written is that you didn't have a choice. Anybody could build an accessory dwelling on their existing lot, and all you could do is get a building permit. You couldn't regulate it, was the way the original bill was written. And I believe that has come out, unless things changed again today. Which, you know, I understand the need for housing, but what they're not thinking about is, you know, I used to work for the town of Cicero Utilities and Planning. If you allow whoever wants to just build an accessory dwelling on their property, what do you do about sewer and water connections? What do you do about driveway entrances? What do you do about extra traffic? And there's a lot of these unintended consequences that have to be discussed and thought about. And I know that Commissioner Harebrant and Commissioner Powell and some of those other people took those things to testimony. So hopefully that stays out, at least for now, because there's just not enough advanced planning to manage that.
They don't worry about that.
Well, I know.
They just leave that up to us with no money, and they cut the money locals get because we need to be more efficient while they increase the obligations on us.
Right. But that's my report, without going too far off in the weeds. And that, I don't know, I'm sorry if I stole
No,
something. of your
that's what I
report,
was
but-
going to mention, so that was all I had for myself.
Okay. Well, thank you for the report. And Aaron, nothing further from you?
Nope.
Okay. Looks like next BZA meeting is Wednesday, March 25th, 2026 at 7 in this courtroom. And I will adjourn the meeting at 7:18.